Commissioners. I'm Micah Parkin. I'm at 2861 Ellison Place in Boulder. I'm speaking on behalf of 350 Boulder County, and I want to say how deeply I respect and appreciate your efforts to date to keep fracking at bay. 350 Boulder County represents about 2,000 members in the county who are deeply concerned about the impacts of fracking on our land, water, air, climate, quality of life, public health, and safety. First, we urge you to uphold your moral and fiduciary duty to Boulder County residents who have for decades paid taxes to promote sustainability and protect open space, air and land, water and climate by extending the moratorium on oil and gas development despite threats of lawsuits from fossil fuel companies whose only care is profiting at our people's expense and government officials who are the puppets of these companies. Recent research findings about the damage from fracking on public health, water, air, and climate would render indeed the decision to allow fracking to be a dereliction of responsibility to our current and future community members. One such report released in September by Oil Change International showed that we can bring on no new fossil fuels if we're to have any chance of staying below 2 degrees Celsius to global temperature rise, which is what our country and others around the world agreed to at climate talks in Paris last December, 2 Decembers ago. Allowing fracking in Boulder County would fly in the face of sustainability taxes and other measures that voters approved to do our part to address climate change and shift to a clean energy future. The resulting methane leakage from oil and gas fracking and the burning of these fossil fuels would almost certainly undermine our collective efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Another important recent report from October 24th is from the Yale School of Public Health found that fracking is linked to cancer-causing chemicals. They examined over 1,000 chemicals that can be released into air and water as a result of fracking. For 119 of these compounds, 44% of the water pollutants and 60% of the air pollutants were either confirmed or possible carcinogens. 20 chemicals had evidence of increased risk for leukemia or lymphoma specifically. The lead author of the report, Nicole DeZiel, called for additional research looking especially at the impacts on children as they are, in her quotes, particularly vulnerable population. It would be a terrible irresponsibility for us not to use the precautionary principle in all means within our power to prevent our children from exposure to these chemicals. Given the fact that the fracking boom appears to be busting, with 90 gas and oil producers in the US and Canada having filed for bankruptcy in the last 20 months, and with 135 oil companies on the edge of bankruptcy, it's likely that county residents would be stuck trying to clean up the mess left by insolvent companies if fracking is allowed. Most of these companies are only functioning because of ongoing bank loans demanding continued fracking regardless of the poor economics at play. Despite the Supreme Court's ruling that local governments cannot place extended moratoria or bans on fracking, many Boulder County residents who voted for a local moratoria have not had their day in court to defend our right to initiative. We must remember that many other oppressive policies, such as slavery and women and people of color not having the right to vote, have at times in history been the rule of law, and it's our duty to stand up against unfair and unsafe laws in court and through direct action as necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Josh?